family, and welcome to Motherland Media. This is Brother DJ along with Baba Hekima. Greetings, Baba Hekima. How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother.
Good, good. We started off with a little bit of a technical difficulty on the Blog Talk side, so just wanted to let everybody know we are on live. For those of you who are listening in via internet, if you would like to join the conversation tonight, you can call 646-716-5682. That's 646-716-5682. Want to go ahead and explain what this call is about, what it's designed to do, and also what it's designed to accomplish. So definitely, again, want to thank all of you who are calling in at this time. And at any point you have a question or a comment, once we get started, go ahead and press 1 on your phone. Press 1 on your phone, and we'll open up your line for a question and or comment. Baba Hekima, you want to go ahead and give us the premise of the call and what the call is designed to do tonight?
Yes, thank you, brother. Yes, family. As most of us know, there is concern in our community about the economic empowerment of our people vis-a-vis every other force in the world. And so Usliftingus Economic Development Cooperative is advancing a bold plan, one that we think is sober, is practical, and it's encapsulated in our 10-point appeal and plan, which is the first thing that you see when you go to our website, and that's usliftingus.com. And in the context of brothers and sisters viewing our information on our website, our flyers, or however our brothers and sisters would come to know about ULU, we wanted to place ourselves, those of us in leadership, in a position to answer questions and concerns from our brothers and sisters around the world. And so part of that connectivity with our community is this Thursday night call. Every Thursday evening, we host this call. Every Thursday morning, we send an email blast out referencing this call and inviting people to come to the call, either through calling in by phone or listening live over our website. And so, again, this call every week is our attempt to be transparent, to be present, to be open, and hopefully to be powerful as we answer the questions and concerns that you might have. So the premise is for this call is for our members, not so much, but many of our members do call in, but primarily for our guests, people who maybe have gone to the website and maybe have looked at literature, maybe have not gone to the website. But we know brothers and sisters benefit if they've gone to our website and have already gone through our online presentation. And typically when that occurs, our brothers and sisters have very serious questions to ask, because once they see the aim and mission of ULU and see some of the prescriptions that we have for taking control of our community, then it's almost natural that you would have questions. So in response to your request, DJ, hopefully that covers it. And if I've missed anything, I'm sure you'll wrap that up for me.
Thank you, and you pretty much covered everything that I would have. I would just add that we will play. This will be an audio presentation that is designed to familiarize those who have not yet heard our message with not only who we are as an organization, but what Usliftingus as a cooperative is designed to do, and how is it that you can fit into this and be a part of this process. So this particular presentation is about 14 minutes long, and again, it's just the audio. If you would like to listen to as well as view the full presentation, we certainly invite you to go to our website, and our web address is www.usliftingus.com. That's usliftingus.com. And we have the full presentation there for you to watch and listen to at your leisure. So you ready to go ahead and play the presentation at this time, Baba Hikima?
Yes, and I'll just say, realize that you're only listening to the audio portion of the presentation. The narrator points to images. Of course, we can't see the images, but it's enough information there so that we really get the gist of what's being presented, the power of what's being presented, and it serves to set the tone for our conversation this evening. So, yes, let's go ahead and play the audio portion of our presentation.
We are back. We just finished playing our presentation. And so at this time, we will go or move into our question and answer phase. So, again, for those of you who are listening in or who have actually called in on the call-in side, if you have a question or a comment for us tonight, go ahead and press 1 on your phone. Press 1 on your phone, and we'll see your line highlighted, and we will open up your line for a question or comment. Again, for those of you who have called in on the call-in side, simply press 1 if you have a question or a comment, and we'll open up your line shortly. And those of you who are listening in via internet, if you would like to be a part of the conversation tonight, call us at 646-716-5682. That's 646-716-5682. Baba Hikima, we do have a caller on the line with a question, so we'll go to their line at this time. 9235, please state your name and where you're calling from. Your line is open. (9235) Your line is open. 9235. Are you there? Okay, they may have actually hit 1 by mistake, but their line was actually highlighted. Have a little bit of background noise there, 9235. So if you have a question, then we'll actually come back to you a little later on in the program just to check again. But please get in the area, and that's to all of our callers. If you have a question, please make sure you're in an area where there's minimal background noise so that we can hear your question and or comment clearly. Did you have anything you wanted to go into, Baba Hikima, while we're waiting for questions and answers?
Well, of course, hopefully we've recuperated from this past weekend. Of course, we had a national, or rather international, members meeting, our 3rd annual meeting of members, ULU members, and some very good discussions, some very strategic initiatives that we, resolutions that we passed so that we can be a little more nimble as we go forward. And, of course, we had the Ujamaa Power Summit that same day and had a good time, and we had an opportunity to meet new members that came in from out of state that we had never met before, and it was a beautiful situation. So, I'm trying to come down off cloud 9 or whatever cloud it was and back to normalcy. But I just say to any of the brothers and sisters who came to the members meeting and who came to the summit, if you're on the call and listening in, we really appreciated you, and hopefully you learned something and got some strong vibrations in a larger sense of what it is that ULU is about. And so I just make mention that it's always beautiful to come together in March and bring the family together to take care of business, but also the fellowship.
Definitely, and I definitely want to follow up with that same energy myself. I definitely enjoyed, the entire day, from our annual meeting of members. There were a lot of things that we got clarity on, initiatives that were, voted on and approved. So we're in a great place in turn organizationally to really move forward and build according to, our vision. We have some of the best members in the world and travel from as far away as San Francisco and Denver, Colorado, and Virginia and Florida and Texas, is, in the Carolinas. I mean, what more can you ask for people to, to see the value in Ulu and in our people enough to commit to traveling great distances in order to participate in the members meeting as well as the summit all day, all day. And so, of course, the summit was beautiful, the fellowshipping with friends and comrades and fellow Ulu members to partake of that energy and really put, the faces to a lot of the names that we hear calling into the program and emails and conversations that we have via conference call. So it was a great experience. It was wonderful, and I'm reinvigorated, just like you, Baba Hakeem.
Ashe.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things, and again, sisters and brothers, if you have a question for either myself or Baba Hakima, the only thing you need to do is push 1 on your phone, and we'll see your phone number highlighted, and we'll open up your line for a question and or comment. So, again, just push 1 if you have a comment or a question. But one of my big takeaways from the day, the entire event, was the fact that we were able to present our members, those that were there in person, with Ulu certificates for those that had secured a cooperative unit. And so for me, that was the highlight, being able to call our members up and actually present them with their investment certificate and for them to be, able to take pictures with the board and to highlight and show what we're able to do when we're functioning, on the right kind of level, and these, for those of you who have not maybe seen the certificates, they're beautiful, and they're things that you definitely want to keep track of and maybe frame and put on your wall and just tell your family, and especially if you have children and grandchildren, that this is something that will secure and guarantee intergenerational wealth, because these certificates have the ability to be passed down to future generations. And so it was just a wonderful experience to be able to be a part of that energy and to, award those certificates to our members.
Exactly.
What about you, Bobby King?
Yeah, the same sentiment. And, of course, you can see the certificate on our website. It's not blown up so that you can read everything in a crisp manner, but if you click from our homepage, pay/donate, you'll see a sample of the unit certificates on our website. So for those of you who have not seen it, please go there. And, of course, that stirred other people in the audience who had not invested to invest. So we've gotten several investments after Saturday. So
great.
Yeah, so that's always good. And, of course, we're at a climate now in stage 1 where we're really not pressing our members for investments at this time. More important right now in this stage are memberships and strengthening our process. And so that's what we focus on. But even though we are not pressing our members for their capital investments, they're doing so anyway. And so that's always encouraging that our people, without you pressing them or urging them, they see the big picture and they're stepping up to the plate. And it's
exactly.
a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely is. We want to take another caller. We've got 6093. 6093. Your line is open. Please state your name and where you're calling from, please.
Yes, this is Nanana calling from Denver, Colorado. How are you all?
Greetings, sister.
Hey, sis. Well, it was great to embrace you. So hopefully you got back and you know, they say that rarefied air out there in Denver, a mile high, you know, but hopefully you were able to rest well and are now back on the ground in Denver.
Yes, I am, and dealing with the blizzard that we had out here.
Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we've had 10, 12 inches of snow, and you know, that's one of the challenges that we have in the Mile High City is all of the snow. So, but the question that I have, I believe has already been partially answered, and I think it's a question that I've heard several times and that people often ask, and that is, how long will it take to finish each of the portions, like, you know, part 1, part 2, part 3, for this plan to come to fruition? So could one of you address whether or not there is a time frame that's being focused on, or if there are other elements that are superseding a time frame for this whole plan to so that we can have some actual concrete visual representation of this plan actually working in the community, creating jobs, so on and so forth. Can either one of you address that? Mm-hmm.
You want to take that, Baba Hakim?
I'll start. And
okay.
Our benchmarks are not based on time. We have 3 stages, and each benchmark is based on meeting certain objectives. In stage 1, it's 1,000 members. Certainly, at a point, we thought we would be at 1,000 by now, but we're not. And so, even though we didn't nail it down, we kind of moved that benchmark back to March meeting of next year. We think we can, comfortably reach that target by then. So the benchmark, the first benchmark, is 1,000 members. We're a good ways. If you look on the website, click member owners, you'll see the actual list of our members, and it's been updated as of yesterday. So that's the first benchmark. And again, it has nothing to do with time. It has to do with enough of our people learning about it, and for those who learn about it, a sufficient number of them joining with us, and that benchmark is 1,000 members. The second benchmark in stage 2 is $3 million, and that figure may be moved a little because when we run the numbers again, it may be anywhere between 3 and 5, but we'll run the numbers. And so the second benchmark is an amount sufficient to fund the first marketplace and fund it and support it until it can stand on its own feet. Because all of us know the worst thing you can do is have sufficient funds to open a business, but don't have sufficient funds to allow it to operate optimally. And so the second benchmark is not a number of members, but it's a dollar amount to fund the second, the target in phase 2. And the benchmark in stage 3, which is very aggressive, is having captured 0.5% of the more than $1 trillion that flows through our fingers. Now, that benchmark is going to be out 10, 12, 15 years. And roughly, in terms of dollar amounts, we're talking about $5 billion a year in gross revenue. To put that in context, so that everyone can really get a feel for that, in 1956, 5 students and a Catholic priest started a small cooperative in Spain, and today they do roughly $45 billion a year in gross revenue. Now, of course, if they were returning 1% net profit back to their members, that would be $45 million a year back to their members. And maybe I'm off, but it's a lot of money. So I appreciate the question, and I know sometimes we want date certains, but the challenge we have is really one of education and answering the tough questions, building the infrastructure. And so our benchmarks are not based on time, but based on number of members, number of dollars in stage 2 and stage 3. And so that's the best of our answer, but we think that we can be at 1,000, within the next 12 months and celebrate the successful conclusion of stage 1. Now, I will add this. At our members' meeting, members agreed that the board could pursue a smaller project, a demonstration project, so that we can actually have an operational business or two, even before the market and exchange. Our bigger project is online. So there are conversations as we speak, looking at possibilities for something that demonstrates the co-op model and does so at a smaller scale than the market and exchange. So that's not in keeping with stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. It's something that we will do on the side. But the members at our members meeting this past Saturday gave permission for the board to pursue a smaller project. So assuming that happens, and we think it can happen this year, that would be actually a demonstration of a co-op model. And the only difference would be is scale. It would still function the way all of our co-ops would function. But, Brother DJ, you may want to have more to add to that explanation.
Yeah, you pretty much covered everything. The only thing I think that I would add is that as we build the membership, because the point that you made in terms of time is significant and as well as important, because just to kind of reiterate your point, I think it is more important to, as we build the membership, to also make sure that the process of ULU is strong as well. And so in some sense, it's good that we haven't gone to 1,000 members or even beyond 1,000 at this point, because the more we build out ULU in terms of the process, the more we realize how much work still needs to be done. So the adding of the members and the strengthening of the process, in our opinion, have to coincide. They have to go hand in hand so that there's always balance, right? Because otherwise we can run the risk of not having those things in place that truly educate our members on why it is important to be a part of ULU in the first place, and what the overall vision, goals, and objectives are for the organization and how we align ourselves with that vision, right? And in keeping with that, we feel that once we accomplish that first goal, that will signify significant buy-in for us to have the requisite level of confidence to go to the next stage. And so, just to reemphasize Baba Hakima's point, that's why everything is in stages. Because it's actually a confidence builder as we continue to move forward towards the vision of Ulu. So, great question, Sister Nana. Did you have a follow-up?
No, I appreciate the detail that you provided, and it is very important to acknowledge the value of going through all of the steps and the stages to build the membership and to educate and to know that we are not pushing for a particular time frame. Because we want the infrastructure to be strong. So thank you for all of the detail around that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Thank you for the question. Again, sisters and brothers, if you want to ask a question or give a comment, and you're on the call-in side, meaning that you've already called into the program, go ahead and push 1 on your phone, and it will highlight your phone number and we'll open up your line for a question or comment. And for those of you who are listening in on the internet side, if you would like to call into the show and ask a question, dial 646-716-5682. That's 646-716-5682. Okay? Bobby Kima, we actually have another caller on the line, so let's go ahead and go to 8912. 8912, your line is open. Please state your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, this is Thurman calling from Richmond, Virginia.
Hey, brother.
Greetings, family.
Good.
And I want to say to all of the Us Lifting Us members and people listening in on the calls and that's thinking about being a member, this past weekend at the Power Summit was one of the most fantastic experiences many of us have ever had. This Us Lifting Us leaders, the elders, the founders, they are real and they are serious and they're on the ball. And it was, I could stay on the phone for a little while talking about the experience. It was, the whole 3 days was just fantastic. And if I ended it to say that it was anything that, for me, that wasn't accomplished, and that was setting a date in the next 2 or 3 months that we could have this gathering again, wherever it is, and to wait for another year is too long.
Wow.
Well, brother,
you.
Your spirit is still vibrating in the place. It was beautiful to finally come face to face with you. I've seen you on YouTube. I've heard your voice, I don't know, 1,000 times, but it's nothing like being able to embrace you. So I'm glad that you were able to come down.
Yes, and it was just so beautiful, the people that we have heard on the call for many months, that they were there. Just so beautiful, Black-owned and operated hotel right out the door, Black-owned and operated restaurant that we met in, and the Shrine of the Black Madonna, and just the whole vibrations the entire weekend, and it was well worth the effort, the time, and that it was just everybody's already said it, and I just want to reiterate and thank you for all your good and powerful work, and thank you for just being on top of things, and looking forward to us growing together and doing much more and much more powerfully and successful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
thank you so much.
you do a yeoman's bit of work yourself, and thank you for the Facebook page and all the work that you do, posting every day, and we really appreciate the contribution. So don't talk about us. Let's talk about we.
We. Yes.
Yeah. So you're part of the team, and we
yes,
appreciate you and we love you.
And I do too, and thank all of the beautiful queens and all of the beautiful kings that were there.
Oh yeah, thank you.
All right. Ashe.
Right. All right. So let's see if we have anyone else on the line that actually was at the members meeting and the summit, and you would like to call in and kind of give us your take on what you experienced. Definitely call in. We'd love to hear, about your experience. If you joined ULU the day of the summit, based on what you heard, the level of dialogue in our phenomenal panel discussion around the state of black business, whether it was around the entertainment, the spoken word artists that were able to share, the keynote presentation, or just the camaraderie, like I said, the awarding of the ULU certificates, whatever inspired you to join ULU on that day, definitely let us know if you're able to. But going back to Brother Thurman's point, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our initial fellowship over at Pascal's, where we had a chance to sit down and discuss a number of things in a very relaxed social setting, black-owned restaurant here in Atlanta over a meal, and just engage in some good dialogue with our ULU members around business and just to be able to share, again, in a relaxed atmosphere, that broad vision for the cooperative and how is it that every member fits in this process and can help shape it. That's priceless. If there's anything that we know we have to do is to be able to relax and socialize, but still get work done. And so that entire weekend was just that.
Ashe.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, Bobby Hakeem?
Well, of course, it's the summit is over, and we're pulling together the footage, the notes, the photos, so that we can chronicle what happened, and we'll get a communique back out to the public, kind of capsulizing what occurred over the weekend, and it's on to the next target, of course, and the fundamentals don't change. The fundamentals are our mission, of course, is to gain control of the economics of our community, and we do that in part by building co-op businesses in local communities that meet a need, that create jobs, that contribute to charity, and that also offer a return to our member investors. And we want to do that over and over again. And, of course, we, as we build, we'll reach a level where it becomes self-evident that the community or the territory that we generally define as the black community, that we have sufficient penetration and coverage that everyone understands that that's our territory. And so the mission of ULU speaks to building that economic foundation, that economic floor, where we then as a community will have sufficient leverage to impact the politics and, of course, build new cultural patterns of support and sustain that for future generations. So the work continues, in terms of there are no vacuums in terms of power. If we don't control our communities economically, then it simply means that someone else does. And so part of what we did this weekend was simply to make adjustments in our overall strategy, but the goal is one. The goal is simply to have supreme authority over our lives to the extent that we can. Nothing is 100%. So, when we recover from this past weekend, and it's hard getting back to the task, but we got to do it. And so it's just continuing to build. And so I would just say that for brothers and sisters who are listening in over the internet or calling in for the first time, what we want you to do is take a sober look at ULU. And I guess what I would challenge you to do, if you agree that we should control the economics of our community, then answer the question for yourself if you know how to do that. If anyone has ever put in front of you a prescription as to how it is that we would incrementally gain control of our communities and gain it to that level where we are the dominant economic force in our community. And if you don't already have a plan laid out for you, then take a look at the ULU plan, because that is what the ULU plan seeks to accomplish. And the first thing you want to look at is our 10-point appeal and plan. And so when you go to our website, usliftingus.com, those 10 points are the first thing that you see. Now, if you put your cursor over those 10 points and click it, it turns into a PDF. And it's easy to print out. Print out a copy for yourself, for your wife, or your husband, for your coworkers. Print out a few copies and just share them with people that you are close to, that you think are open-minded enough to want to see a master plan for how we gain control of the economics of our community. And then on our website seeks to explain it in greater detail. But those 10 points are the framework, the foundation, the grid, so to speak, that we're building from. And so from our website, there are 3 videos on our homepage. The top video is the video that you heard the audio portion of a little earlier. Go through that, fill out the form for additional information. We'll send you instantly our 22-page operating agreement, a 4-page values and ethics document, and other information. In other words, before you become a member, before you spend a dime, before you make a commitment at all, we want to have in your hands the information that you would need to make an informed decision. And remember, ULU is not a membership organization in the typical sense. When you join ULU, you are joining as an equal partner in a limited liability company. And as an equal partner, you have just as much power and authority as anyone else, because there are no junior members, there are no senior members. We're just members. And everything starts there, and you can request membership by clicking join on our website. Pay your $50 first year's membership by clicking pay/donate, and encourage people that you know to come back and join us next week. But if you can, encourage them to go through the presentation on the website and then come to this presentation, because you'll gain a greater understanding if you've already gone to the website.
All right. Thank you. We do have another caller that called in with a question and or comment, so we're going to go and open up their line. 8743. 8743, your line is open. Please state your name and where you're calling from, please.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Fred Cox II. I'm calling out of Columbus, Ohio. I'm Division 614, president of the division here in Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Baba Hakima.
Hey, brother.
I regret that I did miss the event there in Atlanta, but I was at the High Council meeting with the UNIA, and I'm inspired by listening to the testimonies from those that did attend, as well as hearing again the focus for ULU and the amount of positive change we can make upon our people, and listening to even in the 10-point plan and also the coming in as a non-junior member, but a participating member for the improvement of our African communities and those from African descent. So it's motivating to see that the whirlwind is spinning to the point to where now the members understand that we're doing this for a cause for our people in the future that will be like a boomerang in itself. What we put out, it will come back and it will continue to spread and bless our people, place us back in the position upright that we should have been. So I thank you, brothers, for having the think tank enough to do this for our communities, and I'm glad to be a participant with that. So race first, and again, thank you.
And thank you, brother, and race first. And now that the summit is over, we can take a more critical look at your proposals as well. Our brother is a thinker, and I think you sent us two pieces, things that you're working on, and so let's continue to communicate and support.
Absolutely, Baba, absolutely, and I'm glad to be a part of the family.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, brother, for your comment. Yeah. Did you want to? There was one other thing that I wanted to add as well, is that one of the most important points of ULU that I constantly emphasize is the building of a new black economy. Oftentimes we talk about those who work in the area of financial services and those who encourage us and really educate us on the need to spend our dollars more wisely, to be better stewards of our finances, to create a budget and live within that budget and certainly live within our means. But oftentimes the conversation around group ownership never really takes place. And so we end up back in the same place where we started, which is really at the behest of another people and under the power of another people. But ULU is different. ULU is actively involved in those two things, but in addition to that, ULU is promoting this whole notion of group ownership on a large scale, which is something that you really don't hear organizations as well as individuals talking about in a very clear and definitive kind of way. And so for those of you who are not yet members of ULU, we certainly, like Baba Hekima said, encourage you to visit our website, go through it, examine that 10-point plan, examine the mission of ULU, look at our turtle list, look at our endorsers, look at all of the people who have decided to be a part of this cooperative formation. Understand that this is a unique opportunity to not only make history, but to also be a process that guarantees intergenerational wealth for your children as well as your grandchildren. And I know that that is extremely important to us, for those of us who are parents. You see, to be able to leave a tangible benefit to future generations. All of that can be accomplished through ULU. And so the basic membership or the active membership is only $50 a year. And if you decide at some point to begin the process of securing a cooperative unit, we encourage you to do so, but it's not a requirement. $50 a year, it's really all that's required to participate in all of what ULU has to offer. Being able to vote on certain initiatives that come up from time to time and being counted in that lineup and say, hey, I have staked my claim in building this new economic system for the benefit of black people globally. all of us. So I just wanted to add that as a point of emphasis, Baba Hekima, and feel free to kind of close us out with some encouraging words.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's so critical. Dr. Anderson, Claude Anderson, reminds us all the time about the importance of group economics. But we take it a step further. We say group-owned economics, cooperatively owned enterprises. And so I don't want to belabor it. I just want us not to be lazy. Sometimes we don't do our due diligence and look at a thing hard enough, turn it upside down, shake it, and see what it's made of. Do that with ULU. And if you see that we're in error, bring it to our attention wherever we need to strengthen, because the motive is clear. It's a political motive, even though we're a business. But the political motive is to gain control of the economics of our community. That's a political imperative. But you cannot accomplish that without having economic power. So it's great that, DJ, you reminded us of the lane that we're in as ULU. We promote co-ops, but at the height of our success, when people get excited about ULU, when the masses of our people are excited about ULU, it's when we have, in fact, open and are operating hundreds, maybe thousands of co-op businesses, all owned by ULU membership throughout the world. Locally, they are co-ops that are managed by the workers but owned by the members. And so we want to end the call this evening, and pretty much everything is summed up in our name. Us lifting us, economic development cooperative. There are a lot of co-ops in the world, food co-ops.
Baba Hekimo, not to cut you off, but we do have someone who called in with a question.
Beautiful.
So if you want to finish your point, feel free. But we certainly want to ask, go to this caller before we get off the line tonight.
Beautiful. Let's go to the caller.
Okay, 2919. Please state your name and where you're calling from. Your line is open.
This is Benita from Athens. Greetings, family.
Hey,
greetings.
Sis.
Greetings. I apologize for the late chime in, but I thought I'd just kind of, mimic what everybody was saying about the event, and just grateful to have been in y'all's presence and everybody's presence. I think the highlight for me, and it's as small as it is, but it definitely was a highlight, because initially when we were there, we were all kind of sitting back to back, in kind of school row form, and when we opened the floor up, I think that just allowed all of our vibrations and energies to just kind of get back in line. So if you were there, you understand what I'm saying about that. But I also just wanted to kind of get to a question that if you could just kind of make clear to whether it's the members on the call or potential members, what exactly is the goal or the mission for the community page? Because I don't know that many members or new members, even potential members, are aware of what the purpose of that page is.
I think you're referring to the ULU community?
Correct.
All right. Yeah, we have a separate website. It's a Ning environment. And I think many people are familiar with Ning, and it's a closed environment. Members can build their own page, upload videos, photos, blog, connect with other members, and they can build their profile, and especially if they're in business for themselves, and to expose their business and their hobbies, so that online community is where we build relationships. When we can't physically come together, we can reach out to each other. We can see each other's pictures, see pictures of your family, whatever. So all of our members should build their individual page as robustly as you choose to. And for members who maybe haven't uploaded a photo or background photo, we want you to do that. So the idea is that we want to build an online community of ULU members only. No one can enter that community except ULU members. And we also have a desire for an e-commerce-enabled platform to emerge in that environment so that it makes it easier for us to actually do business with each other. And that business platform can also be viewed external, so people can do business with you. But right now, it's a way for us to build relationships internally. On our website, there's no way you can see the list of members, but you can't communicate with them. But if you also if you're a member, click ULU Community and set up your username and password, and then it will prompt you to set up your profile and build your page. But because we're so spread out, we have members in 5 countries and almost every state in the USA, and so we use the online community, the ULU community, to stay in contact with each other, to build, to communicate, because you can communicate within that so secure community without using your regular email, just in terms of internal communications. Hopefully that answers the question. Is there any other point that you wanted us to make as it relates to that?
No, just I think just you stated everything that I was trying to convey in terms of, and especially I guess with it being cooperative, I think a lot of networking opportunities, like you said, internally can be done through that, and I just any potential member that may be a business owner, definitely to consider those things, because it's all working parts, and although you're not a member, I think definitely becoming a member and actually connecting with people worldwide would be great opportunities to actually start practicing cooperative economics.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yesterday 2 of the members in the ULU community were connected on a business deal. They're both in the same industry, and so their skill sets were shown. And, of course, I knew about them, so I helped facilitate the connect. But that community exposes people that have hobbies or skill sets similar to yours, and that it makes it convenient for you to reach out to them, build relationships, and, as you say, to connect with them and from a business standpoint or a social standpoint. So thank you for the question. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you for the question. Okay. All right. Bob Hakima, the floor is yours.
Well, as I was indicating, our name really sums it up. Us, Lifting Us, Economic Development Cooperative. We're here as a collective to empower economically our community. And with our plan and with the beautiful brothers and sisters we already have on board, we just simply perfect the process and continue to build. And we look forward to seeing everyone. Bring someone with you on the call next week. Don't invite them. Call them, put them on 3-way, and y'all come together. And we look forward to seeing and hearing everyone on the call next week. Peace, family.